Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie, and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. This is a full episode, and after this, I'm filming my first Patreon episode. The Patreon is going to be on the screen right here and linked in the description below. If you would like to support me, I would love you for that. It's going to be like spicy stories or like just stories that can't really be on YouTube because they are rather disturbing to, I don't know. You know what I mean? You get it. You get it. Anyways, get your drinks out. Let's have a fun episode today. I have my caffeine-free Diet Coke, guys, because I'm being good recently and I am stopping drinking caffeine at a certain time when my ultra human ring tells me to, which this is not sponsored, but they did send me this ring and they did give me a code. I don't remember what it is though. Maybe I'll put it in the link below. I don't know. But yeah, so it told me to stop drinking caffeine at like 2:30. Usually every day it tells me around 2:30 because I wake up at the same time every day. But anyways, let's get into the episode. The last episode was themed like worst moms of 2024. This one is the worst sisters. So I don't know. The worst sisters in the world, the worst sisters of 2024. I'm not sure yet, but we'll figure it out. So the first story is titled, Am I the asshole for not helping my sister who became homeless just after she gave birth to her and my soon-to-be husband and my soon-to-be ex-husband's baby? My sister, 24 female, and I, 26 female, were really close our whole lives, and we moved away from our parents together when she was 18 and I was 20. I met my soon-to-be ex-husband here, and we got married, and my sister stayed close. We spent a lot of time together. Then a few months ago, I learned that my sister was pregnant, and my husband was the father. I ended my marriage to him immediately, and I told my sister I wanted nothing more to do with her and that she was on her own. I had some of her stuff at my place and left it at my ex's place for her. For the rest of the pregnancy, they were living together, and then he wouldn't let her back in after the baby was born. She called our parents from the hospital and told them that she had nowhere to go, that he was looking for custody and didn't want her back, and I wasn't answering her calls. So they called me, and after I heard them explain what was going on, I told them it wasn't my problem. They tried to argue, but I wasn't having any of it. She got a place at a shelter for single parents, and she's still there several weeks on. With the custody dispute, she can't move back to our parents, and I'm still refusing to help her out. My parents are angry because I won't take her calls or reply to any of her messages that she's sent. I actually blocked her because I knew she wouldn't stop. My parents just don't know that part. But they're telling me that I should be ashamed of myself for turning my back on her and the baby. I told my parents I owe her and the baby nothing. I told them it was just a shame she didn't choke on his dick when they were sleeping together behind my back. My parents called me disgusting for leaving them homeless, that I have room and I could help. Am I the asshole? Oh my god, that last sentence was a little bit crazy. Damn. I didn't know I was saying all that today, but okay. I mean, fair. Like, I would do the same. The thing that I don't understand is why the family members are always like acting like it's so crazy. Oh my god, I can't believe you wouldn't help your family member in this situation. I can't believe you would turn your back on your family member, as if this girl didn't literally fuck her husband and have a baby with him. Where was that energy when she went behind my back and got pregnant by my husband? Like, huh? I mean, I don't know how they reacted, but I feel as though it is very warranted that she wouldn't want to help her sister or even talk to her ever again in her life. Like, sorry, I would actually never speak to my sister again. And if my parents don't understand why or my reasoning for that, then I'm not speaking to them either, because that is insane. And that's insane behavior to just like let go and be like, okay, it's fine. Yeah, sure. Here, let me do all this for you, when you just actually did one of the worst things that a family member can do to someone. No, thank you. So, no, you're not the asshole. Okay, the top comment. Okay, your sister can't stay with your parents. Why can't your parents pay for an apartment or have family help out? Why does it have to be you, not the asshole? That's one crazy sister. Your parents don't want to deal with the situation, and yet they want you to take on responsibility to help. Someone responded, especially if the kid's father wants to take care of the kid full time. Why drag OP into a custody battle of an irrelevant kid whose parents are not welcome into OP's life? Exactly. Like, I don't want that in my life. I don't want this energy in my life at all. Get away from me. I already had to go through a traumatic situation with my sister and my husband sleeping together. And then the result and the consequences of that, there came a baby, and I'm sure, tore her apart and absolutely broke her heart that all of this happened. So, like, I would be steering as far away from that situation and those people as possible and trying to heal. And they're like, the paint hasn't even dried yet. They're still not even divorced. It's soon to be ex. Like, they're going through their divorce. So clearly wasn't that long ago. So your parents were okay with her screwing around with your husband and getting pregnant? No. Keep them all blocked. Not your circus. Not your circus, not your monkeys, girl. I told them it was just a shame she didn't choke on. Oh, sorry. I don't want to read that again. Why aren't these asshole parents taking in their cheating, lying asshole daughter? I'd go no contact with all of them forever. Not the asshole OP, but leave them in your mountain of right dust. And then someone responded, OP said it was because of the custody issue. Usually one parent can't just move with the child when there's a custody battle going on. My friend has majority custody of her parents, and she can't move from the state unless the dad says it's okay. It sounds like OP's parents may be in a different state. Oh, see, I wasn't understanding that part. I mean, I don't know much about custody, so I figured that I wouldn't understand anyway. I wasn't really expecting myself to, but I didn't realize that they were living in another state. That's what I was confused about. Like, why couldn't she live with her parents? But yes, that is true. You can't just like take the kid out of state when you're going through a custody battle, because that's no. Not no. But yeah, I mean, block, really. That's the biggest thing you can do. The biggest thing for your peace is blocking your sister, which you already did, and honestly blocking your parents if they're not going to support you in the way that you feel about the situation. Okay, next story. I caught my fiance hooking up with my sister while I'm pregnant, and tomorrow I'm exposing everything at our family gathering. I have reached the edge of what I can bear. I'm 28 years old and have been with my fiance for just over 3 years. We live together with my 4-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. 3 weeks ago, I found out that I'm pregnant again. At first, I was overjoyed, naive enough to think that we were finally creating this stable family I had always wanted. He grew distant the very next day. He ignored my excitement, started coming home late, and kept his phone glued to him at all times. I began noticing strange calls and those discreet social media notifications that vanished too quickly. My gut told me to investigate. I almost wish I had not. He has been secretly hooking up with my older sister behind my back. She was the one I always tolerated, even though she drags drama wherever she goes. She would hug me when relatives were around, pretend to be supportive older sibling, and then turn around and badmouth me to her friends. I never imagined that she would crawl into my life this deeply. It felt like a slap in the face to read their messages calling me clueless for not noticing. He told her about the pregnancy before he was honest with me about his doubts, and they joked about how stressed I would be raising another child. My sister bragged that our entire family thinks she is the more interesting and more popular sibling. Meanwhile, I am just the quiet one who apparently deserves this. I don't know if they're still meeting in secret or if they just get a kick out of hurting me. My fiance denies everything whenever I confront him, says that I'm hormonal, that my imagination is running wild. My sister keeps messaging me, telling me I should keep my mouth shut and stop being dramatic. I'm done hiding my anger. My mother wants me to talk it out calmly, but how do I fix something so broken? I can barely breathe. My fiance thinks I will just accept this. He is counting on me being too shy or too pregnant to do anything. Tomorrow, I plan to blow this up in front of my entire family. We are supposed to have a casual get together at our parents' house, ironically, to celebrate my pregnancy announcement. I will gather my phone logs, the screenshots, and all those humiliating texts that they sent to each other. Once all the relatives have settled in, I will put everything on display. No more secrets. I might burn everything in the process. I might lose any chance of a pleasant co parenting scenario, but I feel like I have no other way to reclaim my dignity. I have been crying nonstop for days. My nerves are shot, and all I get from my fiance is either silent treatment or insults. My sister taunts me and acts like I'm worthless. I see no reason to protect them anymore. I do not know what happens next. Maybe they will run off with each other. Maybe they will lie or twist things around to make me look insane. My fiance has not contributed much financially, so I worry about affording my daughter and this potential new baby on my own. Yet I cannot pretend everything is normal. I have to protect whatever self respect I have left. I'm going to set my entire world on fire tomorrow. Part of me feels terrified, the other part is numb. Regardless, I'm done letting them tiptoe around my heart. If they want my silence, they should have kept their betrayal better hidden. Let everyone see exactly who they are. That is all I have left. Well, the trash took itself out, so at least that you can be thankful for. And even if he doesn't contribute financially, at least you can go and get child support from him, even though he could probably still not pay it. But I don't know what the laws are like now with that, but I do know that sometimes they just can take it right out of your paycheck. And also, do they sometimes? No, I don't know. Take it out of your taxes or something? I don't know. But I know that that's a thing. I don't know if that's with everyone, though. Like, I know that they can, like, in certain, I don't know what the circumstances are, though. Obviously, I'm not, like, a custody lawyer or anything, but I've definitely heard that happening. Thankfully, my dad was responsible, and he paid his child support every month because he is a good dad. And if he didn't, like, I would literally yell in his face because we saw him once a week and every other weekend. And if he didn't pay child support, I'm sure my mom would have told me because, girl, I knew like so much stuff about my parents back then. I didn't know everything though, which honestly is kind of crazy because like they definitely didn't tell me those kinds of details because now I know like why they got divorced and all the cheating that went on and all the crazy, honestly, drama that could be like a very good show, to be honest. Like, someone make a show out of my life because I don't really even remember it happening in real time because I was so little, but kind of crazy, like the whole situation that went on with my stepmom being the neighbor and my mom. Yeah, all the stuff. I've told you guys the story before, but so I won't repeat myself. But yeah, it's like it could be a movie probably, actually. It would just be interesting. I don't know. It could be like The Neighbor. Just kidding. That's stupid. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I mean, go off, girl. Do you, to be honest. I'd probably do the same shit. I'm kind of petty when it comes to that kind of stuff. I think that I am like very much something that I've realized about myself is that I very much am a stubborn person and I very much like to be, it's not that I like to be right, but I refuse to be wrong. And I also hate when people will be like, "What? Where'd you hear that? Like, that is not true." I hate when people do that. Like, about random stuff that I'll say. Like, just a random fact, maybe. Like, for example, my boyfriend and my friend, when we were at dinner on New Year's Eve, I was talking to them about how we were talking about birth, and I was talking to them about how sometimes the dad can help catch the baby when their wife is giving birth or the mother of their child is giving birth. And they were like laughing at me like, that is not real. Where did you hear that? Who told you that? And I was like, oh, that is just, I thought that was basic information. I mean, I was like, sorry. I have I have two girl nephews and two girl nephews. I have two nieces and two nephews. So I'd like to say I know a little bit about birth. Do you guys? No. Thank you. Goodbye. So yeah. And then a couple days later, I literally sent them both this thing on Google that was like, yeah, oftentimes the dad can help catch the baby. Like, I'm sorry. I want to punch you in the face. No, I'm just kidding. It's all funny and silly goose games, but sometimes I get seriously offended when people are like that, like they laugh at you as if you're stupid and they're like, that is not true, as if I just made that up out of thin air. I'm like, maybe you just aren't educated enough. Okay, anyway, sorry, that had nothing to do with this story, but let's read some comments. Good luck. With a sister like that, you don't need any enemies. You can make any choice you like regarding the pregnancy, but before you have a huge announcement, please consider this. You will be single parenting again and all that entails, but with a 4-year-old too. The father may decide to be with your sister and she will become the stepmother to your new baby. She may go out of her way to make this happen because she enjoys hurting you. This means the child is a weapon. Money, support, stability for your child needs to come before any potential future child. Editing to add, my comments were really about her welfare around the child she currently has. She absolutely should not stay with this guy, and I would advise an abortion due to the above, but that's her choice, and we've all given advice. I wish you all the best with your choices. My daughter was born when I was 21. I raised her as a single parent after a similar situation. She's 21 herself this year, and it's the same advice I would give to her. Someone said, and to add, think about abortion. These are the exact situations why this option is there. OMG, please make a PowerPoint presentation or Google Slides or whatever. You're going to want everybody to get a really good view of all the information you've gathered. The last slide should be a Q&A. We are professionals after all. Let's crowdsource this PowerPoint. Burn him to the ground, honey, in front of everyone. Stand up, say you have a major announcement, and ask for quiet. Then say, after 3 years with my fiancé, I am pregnant with my fiancé's child. Sorry to add that he and my sister have been effing in recent weeks, so it's not the great news I would have preferred. Now I will turn this announcement over to my sister so she can explain the great sex she's been enjoying with him. Be sure to post an update, which there is an update, so let's see what this says. I'm excited to see. I hope she actually did, because you deserve to do whatever you please and whatever you think is going to make you feel better about the situation. I exposed my fiance and sister's betrayal at the family gathering. Update. I am still reeling from what happened. After writing my last post, I spent hours debating with myself about whether I should really go through with exposing them at our family gathering. A part of me was scared that I would turn my whole life upside down forever, but I knew I couldn't keep letting them walk all over me while pretending everything was fine. I called my mom beforehand to let her know I was breaking up with him and to prepare her. When I arrived at my parents' house, everyone was already there, including my ex-fiancé and my sister. My mother tried to pull me aside, whispering that we should talk first. I stayed calm, walked straight into the living room where everyone was sitting, and asked them to listen. They looked confused. My sister immediately rolled her eyes, and my fiancé mumbled something, probably hoping that I would stay silent. I started reading the most shocking parts of the messages that I found between the two of them. They mocked me, joked about me not noticing anything, and said that I deserved this. I had timestamps proving he was sneaking around with my own sister while I was at home with my daughter. My sister stood up and accused me of lying, her voice defensive and low-pitched, but I just kept reading. The messages spoke for themselves. I revealed how he told her about my pregnancy before even discussing it with me, and how they laughed about me being stressed out raising another child. My fiancé tried to dismiss me, claiming I was overreacting and misinterpreting the situation because of my emotional, pregnant state. He even blamed my mental health. By then, he stormed out of the room, and my sister started crying. My dad stared at the floor, silent, while my mother looked horrified. Finally, my sister snapped and stormed out, yelling that I was a dramatic liar who blew everything out of proportion. Now the fallout begins. My fiancé, or rather my ex-fiancé, has been texting me nonstop. One moment, he says he's sorry. The next, he blames me for humiliating him. He shows zero genuine remorse. He's just mad that I exposed him. My sister calls me horrendous names, says I ruined her image, and refuses to take responsibility. She insists that I am making up drama. Honestly, I do not even know if they are still seeing each other or blaming each other for being caught. Either way, their secret is out, and that's all I wanted. I'm now talking to a lawyer because this man barely contributed financially before. I have to protect my daughter and ensure I never have a child with him. Only the thought of raising 2 kids alone is terrifying. I feel numb and heartbroken at times, but I also feel a strange sense of relief. At least everyone knows the truth now. I exposed everything that day in the living room, but at least I'm no longer being trampled on in silence. My sister and ex-fiancé can no longer laugh behind my back. Yes, things will probably get messy. They might lie to other relatives, people we mutually know, or twist the story, but I'm glad I refused to keep quiet. All I can do now is focus on the positive, talk to my lawyer, and move forward. It will be painful, but I will do everything in my power to build a new future on my own terms, far away from these people. Slay, queen. Go off, girl. That is crazy. That's there. I don't understand how she was even with that man to begin with. He's literally gaslighting as fuck, saying that I'm sorry. How can you misinterpret that? I'm pretty sure it's clear as day for anyone with any type of brain in their head. Like, I'm a little confused. Are you insinuating that I am dumb? Because it is clearly not a misinterpretation. And then not only that, but it's so funny when men use you're emotional. Oh, because if I was pregnant and emotional, you would literally, I would kick you in the face if you said that. So blame that on my emotionalness, but you would literally be getting kicked in the face. I'm sorry. That's actually so annoying. Or are you gonna get your period soon or something? Like you're being a bitch. Ooh, no thanks. Don't do that. I think that is like kind of something my I feel like my mom used to say that when I was younger, when I would be being a bitch. She'd be like, "Are you about to start your period? Because you're kind of being like a bitch." And I'd be like, which is fine, whatever. For that, it's like different. But for a man to say that, I'm throwing hands. You're gonna catch these hands. Okay. Anyways, let's read some comments. Good for you. The new journey ahead will be less toxic, and the betrayers will have to deal with themselves. Best of luck to you. I'm proud of you for going through with it. They hurt you intentionally. You owe them absolutely nothing. Anyone in your friend or family group who doesn't see it can fuck all the way off. Such an ultimate betrayal. You deserve peace and love and respect and safety. Are you still early enough / in a safe place to think about abortion? I only ask because you are already stressed at the idea of being a single mom of two, and that you'll be forever tied to the ex, who will more than likely take the kid around your sister / poison them against you. Not that it's an easy decision, but it might be the best one to take for your mental health and ability to cut ties quickly. Wait, I was confused because I thought that she said, like, I thought her saying, I have to protect my daughter and ensure I never have a child with him would mean that she was thinking about getting an abortion. I don't know, but that's what I was thinking, right? Someone said, well done. Have you posted the proof to social media so your name isn't dragged through the mud as being crazy? Print out and laminate the messages. Send them like a greeting card to everyone. Show no mercy. Well done, OP. The truth is out and cannot be shut away. Unless your lawyer advises against it, you should post some of the screenshots to your social media of choice. Let people know why this is now your ex-fiancé and why you aren't talking to your sister. Don't let them set or reset the narrative. Let people know. Also, adding to voice to consider an abortion of time is still right. I know you receive the support you deserve from those around you. Congratulations. Way to go on getting a lawyer. Your sister is throw up emoji. Hope karma gets her. Good luck to you. Make him pay. Everyone's literally saying you need to post the screenshots on social media, which honestly, all power to you if you wanted to do that. But I feel like after that, like I would just want to be done and move on and like heal from the situation because that would be such an exhausting thing to deal with. So I think I would much rather just like be done with the situation unless he were like spreading rumors and saying this and this and that. Then I would definitely be posting those screenshots, but I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't want to create any more drama or any more like attention around it, and not for his sake obviously, but for my own sake and like mental well-being, because I would be so stressed and be like, "Oh my god." Like I don't know. You know what I mean? That's just, I feel like it's continuing to bring negative energy into your life when that's the last thing that you want when you're dealing with something like this. Well, that is the end of the story times. Those are all the stories that I had for you today. And now we're going to move on to the advice segment. If you ever want unprofessional advice from me, the link is below in the description. It's a Google form. It collects zero information. It's completely anonymous. So you don't have to worry about that. And you can give me as much detail as you want. The more, the merrier, because honestly, it is so much easier to give advice when it's like the most detail possible. I don't know why I'm being so confusing saying all that, but yes. So this advice question says, my line of work is very niche, so to not give too much away, I'm just going to say my line of work / job, etc. However, it does include a lot of traveling, including overseas. Only reason why I'm saying this is because it's important to my problems. We're also a lot of people in the crew, and barely any of us do the same thing. To give a little backstory, I haven't quite gotten my foot in properly at what I want to do. So my friend, who's doing it full time, managed to get me in at 3 places, 2 abroad. At the last stop, I also got to hang out with everyone else in the crew when we were done for the day. And even though it's so not my scene, I joined them to go out clubbing. When there, I started talking to a guy, A, who also does the same as me, but full time as well. We immediately clicked, and our conversation never got boring. We only got to talk for about 2 hours, though, as they all had to leave to continue on the road. We did start talking properly on Instagram after this, and I just felt that I was starting to fall for this guy, which was a problem as I was in a long-term relationship at the time. About a week later, him and some others from the crew managed to convince me to come out one last time before they all leave to go home, but especially him, so I fly out again. At first, A hadn't woken up, so our mutual friend B and I go to get some breakfast in the meantime and wait for A there. As soon as A shows up, I get really nervous, like the good kind, the one kind of getting nervous when you see your crush. B told me just a few days ago that it was very obvious that I was, and apparently that A as well. But B told me that it was very obvious something was going on between us. A and I then spent the entire day together out in the city exploring, where he keeps taking photos of me and would always walk very close. He comes back with me to my hotel room so he can borrow the bed to take a nap while I work on my uni project. He also gets to use the shower, as that's a luxury on the road. While he showered, I decided to change clothes as we were going to his job. Then he got out and he basically stared and said, "Wow, you look absolutely effing fantastic." And then on the way to his work, he kept his hand on my lower back when crossing streets. Him and I then stayed together for an entire evening/night, and he also made sure to ask if I was okay or wanted something to eat/drink regularly. He held my hand through the crowds, even if there were barely any people, so we wouldn't lose each other, gave up seats for me, didn't want to have dinner with the crew, but wanted to eat alone with just me. When we had eaten, we went back to the crew, so that I could say goodbye to my other friends there as I won't be seeing them till spring/summer. We took a drink and then we went back to my hotel again and just talked for hours. When he then had to leave me, he gave me the biggest bear hug I've ever gotten and gave me kisses on the top of my head. Throughout the entire day, he also made sure to stand really close to me, sometimes so close that I could feel his breath. A few days ago, B told me that he had asked A about me when he had gotten back to the rest of the guys, and apparently he giggled like a little girl when talking about it. Since then, he's been away on a few jobs over the week between Christmas and New Year's. He sent me some very suggestive pictures from his hotel rooms. Last week, when celebrating a relative's birthday, I had a bit too much to drink, and I told him that there's this guy that I really like, but that I'm trying to forget my feelings as I know nothing will happen. He asked if it was him, and I stupidly said, "No, you're in a relationship. I couldn't do that to you." Yes, he's been in a relationship this entire time, and basically responded with, "Sorry if I led you on, but you should really bring this up with this individual." I was also talking to B at the same time, and he hinted that he's rooting for A and I to be a thing after I told him what had happened when I was visiting them, and he also said that it was obvious to everyone there that A and I are not just friends. Some of the crew actually even asked us if we were dating. Now my problem is, how do I forget about him? And if not, how do I proceed with this? He's 7 years older than me, which isn't the big problem, as we actually get along really well and doesn't feel weird or anything. I also thought he was just a few years older than me, and he thought I was a few years younger than him. I have a tendency to seem older than I am. However, he lives in another continent, but is over here a lot, and he has a girlfriend of 4 years. His relationship is not very functional, as they never see each other, don't even sleep in the same room, and he often feels neglected by her. But I don't want to be the one to break them up as he's trying to make things work between the two. I'm not going to see him till this spring when he's over here again, and we're going to the same festival where he wants to hang out all day, just him and me. What do? I really, really like this guy, and he acts as if he likes me too, even now, after we haven't seen each other for a few weeks. But he's also very open about making his relationship work. Note, he never brings up the girlfriend in conversation. I've literally brought her up more than he has. Oh no. I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna be the burster of the bubble. I'm so sorry. But you knowing that he has a girlfriend and continuing to kind of act romantic and pursue a romantic relationship with him definitely is a little iffy on the moral ground of things. No judgment, but it definitely is like, if me putting myself in the situation of that girlfriend, I would hate you. And I definitely think that the saying "you lose them how you get them" is huge and very, very true and honest. if he's acting this way with you while he has a girlfriend of 4 years that he says that he wants to work on the relationship with, but then he's continuing on acting like you guys are dating around other people and hanging out with you alone and basically dating you, touching your back, hugging you, giving you a kiss on the head, like sleeping in the same room as you. I know that you guys weren't sleeping like together or anything, but him coming to your apartment or your hotel room to take a nap and take a shower and blah, blah, blah. Those aren't things that you do when you're in a relationship and you respect your partner. And I'm not this, no, no. You don't want a guy like that. Trust that as you may like him. I think that this is someone that you can probably get over pretty quickly, honestly, because I just feel like you don't. No, I know that you don't want a relationship like this because you don't want a guy that is going out of his way to disrespect his partner behind her back and also claiming that he wants to work on things. So, I mean, yes, he is the one who owes loyalty to his girlfriend. You obviously do not, but at the same time, it's definitely not right to continue to pursue romantic relationship with him and act the way that you guys do with each other. I do think that you're both in the wrong for doing that. He is definitely way more in the wrong because he has a loyalty to his girlfriend and he also is just genuinely disrespecting her by leading you on. And I'm a little confused. He said that he is sorry if he led you on, but you should talk. That's a little bit confusing. So I'm assuming that he is admitting that he's leading you on and he's not interested in something else with you. So I know that you had a few questions, and one of them was the how do you forget about him? And I think that is just dating other people, honestly, in this scenario. I would go on dates and pursue other people and cut contact with him. You can still be friendly with him when you see him if that's the case, if you are supposed to be seeing him, but it's just not right to continue to chat with him and hang out with him and basically be in a relationship when you guys are together because that's just not respectful to his girlfriend. And it's also not respecting yourself because you don't want someone like that. And you want a person that wants you wholeheartedly and doesn't have a girlfriend on the side, because that is just probably the same thing that they're going to do with you. After 4 years of dating, he's going to get tired of you and then he's going to go and act the same way with another girl. And just imagine that happening, because if he so loves this girl that he's with so much that he wants to work things out, even though he feels like he's not getting enough from his relationship, and he's still wanting to work things out. Like, it doesn't matter if he's not feeling fulfilled in his relationship. He's continuing the relationship, like, knowingly. He's making that decision, actively making that decision, and still he is continuing to disrespect her. And that is just not the kind of guy that you want to be with, especially if you love yourself and have respect for yourself, because he's a shitty guy. Sorry. Honestly, this just leads me to believe that he's a shitty guy, and you should want someone that that wouldn't do this to their girlfriend. Like, when I see that men are respecting their girlfriend in the most respect, like in the best way possible, that is so attractive. That is so amazing. It gives me hope to see that when that happens, and I love to see that. So, like, try to focus on that more and focus on the fact that he's disrespecting his girlfriend. And if you guys were to be in a relationship, that would end up being you, because I'm sure that's how he's going to treat his next girlfriend, his girlfriend after that, and after that, and after that. Most likely. Very, very, I don't know if I believe in once a cheater, always a cheater, but I do believe that usually not everyone changes after a relationship ends, and not everyone learns from their mistakes. So I just wouldn't bet on that. And yeah, I don't know if any of that made sense. I just rambled a little bit and it kind of got confusing at the end there, but I would say try to definitely forget about him and date other people and focus on yourself, girl. and live your life and cut him off. No contact. Say that you feel like it's disrespecting his girlfriend and you don't want to continue because you do feel like he led you on and seemed like he wanted something more with you even though he has a girlfriend, and that you will be civil with him when you see him but you no longer want to talk. And that is that. And you can be nice to him when you see him, but definitely try to steer away from him because absolutely not. And you deserve better, okay? Trust me. You don't want to be with that. But I hope that helped, literally at all. And let me know how things go if you have any updates. Just reference the original advice question that you submitted in here and let me know if you have any updates because I would love to hear them. But anyway, that's the end of the advice segment, and I am now gonna just chat with you guys a little bit. So I don't really know what I'm gonna chat about right now. I never know. Like sometimes I know, sometimes I have like for sure things that I want to say, and then sometimes I just want to like yap a little. And oh my god, I'm like now I feel like at the end of every episode I should just stretch because the way that my back when I'm sitting like a literal hunchback of Notre Dame reading stories on this bed, oh my god, it literally breaks at the end of every episode. So I'm trying to like stretch it out. But yesterday I told myself, no, last week. So when I started 75 hard, which is a week from today, thank god, only 68 days left. I told myself that I was only going to have pop once a week, okay? And then I had pop twice within the next like 3 days. And then yesterday I was at the grocery store getting some things for that I needed to make dinner with. And I saw there was a buy two get two free 2 liters of pop at Publix. So what did I do? I bought 4 liters of pop. And now we have 4 liters of pop in the damn fridge. So, yeah. I'm just going to give it to myself. I'm going to say you can't like get rid of everything that you love, right? In one day. Like to say I need to eat healthy and exercise and drink 90 ounces of water every day and then also on top of that stop drinking pop. Like I feel like that's just torture. So, I kind of support myself in this decision honestly, and I'm going to let myself drink pop. Whatever. Like, yeah, it's not the best for me, but I'm trying to do the best that I can. And I feel like the more extreme you go, the worse that it is, and like the worse the comeback will be. Like after the 75 days, the way that I'll chug like 2 liters. You know what I mean? When you restrict yourself too much, usually there ends up being like a period where you blow up and you like literally go ham on everything that you restricted yourself from. So I'm not going to do that to myself. But I have been doing good with caffeine. I've only been doing coffee in the morning, and I've been stopping after I'm done with my first coffee. And now that I have caffeine-free pop, that's even better because that's just so nice. I don't have to worry about like staying up super late, and I've been falling asleep really well. I actually had to take my anxiety medicine. So my anxiety medicine, I'm usually taking it in the morning. I take 2, and at night I take 2. It doesn't say that on the pill bottle. It just says take 2 by mouth twice a day. It doesn't say when. So I took it this morning at like 9 a.m. and then I took it again like 2 hours ago or an hour and a half ago because I started randomly getting in my head. I tell you guys this all the time, but there's like these random nights that I got like drunk and I don't remember a portion of the night like a few months ago that pop up in my head and it like tortures me. I don't know if it's an OCD thing or what, but it's like very much intrusive thoughts about that time, and nothing that bad happened, but nothing really bad happened. Like I just start to convince myself that a bunch of stuff happened that I don't remember, even though that's not even the case. And I remember most of everything other than like the ride home with like my boyfriend. So it really isn't that big of a deal. But I feel like I did something so bad, even though I didn't. And I know that for a fact. And I just always think about random stuff that I did. And then I'm like, oh my God. And I get anxious. And now me even talking about it is getting me anxious. So I literally it's a problem. I have anxiety for way too long. And that's why I don't like to drink. Like I very rarely drink heavily. I usually just have a couple drinks and get like tipsy. But in certain like circumstances, I will end up drinking way too much on accident, and then I'll get way too drunk when I didn't mean to. And that is just when my anxiety goes haywire for months on end, and it stresses me out so bad, and I don't know how to get rid of it. I'm like, I was looking up on Google, like, how do I stop thinking about a night that I was drunk 5 months ago? And they didn't help. But I was like, let me just take my anxiety meds and hopefully feel a little better. And I honestly do feel a little better, but then when I talk about it, I get stressed out. I'm like, why did I get so drunk that night? Oh my God. I feel like everyone has those times, because there's definitely so many times that I've felt that way, but then like now I'm so indifferent towards them because it was so long ago that I'm like, I look back and I laugh about those times. But now that it's like 5 months ago, I'm like, oh my God, I shouldn't have gotten that drunk. And I'm like thinking that I just looked stupid, and I'm like, I'm literally a grown adult, and why am I feeling the need to get drunk like that, So I hate not being able to control myself, especially when I didn't mean to get that way. Like I literally just kept drinking even though I felt like I wasn't getting drunk, so I just kept drinking. And I've said this story so many times, so I'm just going to shut the fuck up about it. But yeah, that's my life, is I always have random intrusive thoughts about certain things that happen, and it's so fucking annoying, and my anxiety is just so annoying sometimes. And like I said, I rarely have it anymore, but it's definitely like sometimes it just happens with like situational things. And it will be like one thing that I'm like hyper fixated on, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's another mental illness. I'm diagnosing myself with so many things. I'm like, I have anxiety, depression, OCD, ADHD. Like I literally sometimes I feel like that's me. Could that be? It very well could be, but I'm definitely diagnosing myself a little too heavily. I just feel like that sometimes. I'm like, I always blame everything on mental illness, because I'm like, it has to be. Why do I feel this way all the time? Like, why am I have to build myself up to call places and make appointments? Why do I feel that way? Or why do I feel like I have to literally put stuff on my calendar that stresses me out in like weeks or days in advance so that I can accustom myself to it and I can prepare myself mentally? You know what I mean? It's so annoying. But anyways, it's getting really dark, so I'm going to say that this is the end of the episode, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of the Storytime Society. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye!